Hey gang, welcome back to another afternoon in the shop. I am Bob and thanks for joining me. Today we're going to do something that might be deemed a bit controversial in the Jeep world. I'm going to take rock sliders from a JT and I'm going to modify them to fit my MJ. If you know, you know. Stick around. So here's what I'm talking about. I've got this 89 Jeep Comanche. Sorry, I should be out in the driveway where there's a little more room. And it's not quite a pavement princess, but she's not exactly a rock crawler. I want to take care of it. It is my daily driver. And I've been wanting to put some rock sliders on here. Not so I can go beat it up in the rocks, but so if I'm out on a logging trail or doing some exploration, if a stick were to pop up, I don't want to destroy my rockers there because they're in such excellent condition. So when I priced around buying iron, well, I could have spent a lot of money, but instead I found a set of sliders, factory sliders, off of a Jeep Gladiator. And I've got them set up. You can see they're a little long. You can also see that they've got a bit of a curve to them, more of a curve than what the Comanche readily reveals. And so doing a little envisioning here, trying to figure out how these are going to fit, what they'll look like. I'm hoping that they'll probably finish right about this height in terms of distance to the door. And they should tuck up fairly nice based on the profile. They should tuck up pretty nice up under here as well. I know I'm going to have to cut these off. So I'm probably going to cut them off just at here initially so I can do some fitment. And I'm hoping that maybe I can use these for my pinch seam. I'm not sure how dimensions are going to work yet. And put a backer plate on there as my initial mounting point. Again, these are not designed to support my pickup, you know, going across big rocks. I'll try to bolster them and make them fairly strong. But more than anything, I want a little bit of something for the look. Probably going to have to take some of this bow out of it. Won't know until after I cut them down to length. And I think that's what I'll start with. I'm going to take everything. I'm going to stop them just on the inside of my fender flares because, well, I like the stock look of this pickup and I don't want to make any modifications to it out of hand. So I'll get this rascal cut to length and let's see if we can start doing some fitting. Okay, so here's the JT rocker guard assembly, right hand side. I say that because, well, that's what it says right here. Sitting up here, and we can see it's got a pretty significant bow to it to form to the JT, to the Gladiator. But when I measured things out, what I want to do is I want to make this look as if it belongs on my Comanche. I don't want it to look like I've modified much, trying to make it as clean as possible. So one of the things I'm going to do is reuse this end cap. So I'll take this out, pop this out. But when I measure, I want my overall length to fit at the 73 inches that I've measured between my fender flares. Okay, so I'm going to fit it between the fender flares. I don't want to cut this up. I just like the original look, so I'm just going to take it right to the end here on either side and got to figure out what that's going to be like. So I'll give myself a 1/4 inch on either end for the plastics, which puts me cutting right here at 72.5 inches. And I have to make a decision on whether I'm going to keep this part of this lower bracket here, because it's structurally, it's all part of this. What's it doing up front? Yeah, if this is all the way up front, I'm going to keep that. So I'll make the cut here. Square this up. I'll just cut right off to here. And then for these brackets that fit for the the JT for the Gladiator, I think I'll cut these off probably right in line here for now so that I can get to our next level of test fitting. Time to get cutting. Whiteout seems to be the best thing I've found so far for marking metal. And it holds up to heat. So if ever you have to make a cut with a torch, it seems to hold up to that pretty well also. Let's see here. I'm going to use my portable bandsaw. So I want to make it as reasonably straight as possible, but I also need something to follow. Okay, so as you can see, it's fairly substantial. I mean, it's not like building rock sliders to go do some real beating on, but these actually have a little bit of heft to them, and will do a little good in a pinch. I'm going to leave this the way it is for now. I'll take off these burrs. We'll do some test fitting in a bit, but first I'm going to cut these guys off. Well, let's just see what kind of fun this makes now. Obviously, we're doing this together. There was no pre-fitting on this, I guarantee. Let's see, get this up here. What are we working with now? Oh yeah, that's starting to look intentional, huh? Look at that. Look at that. So this is just a very, very rough fit, very dry fit. You know, good golly, we're not too far off with this. See, I get things to stay in place. Let's take a look together. You can see from that angle, I mean, that's kind of a pretty good first look, right? Here's what I'm going to have to figure out what to do with. A little bit of curve, a little bit of space there, and I think I can fit this up pretty tight. I don't want it to rattle, but I'm going to have this finger length in here. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do because it comes up tight, front and rear. Boy, so far that's a pretty quick, nice look, honestly. Wonder what it looks like up underneath. Let's see if we can look together without making you too crazy busy. Okay, so we can see that the brackets for the JK, the pinch seam's quite a lot different. So I'm going to have to figure out a mounting system for this. I was hoping that this would be close enough to my pinch seam that I could actually drill that and use it, but not the case. But I like how this is fitting up pretty tight, right? Pretty tight for a pavement princess. I just need to lay down here, and as Ian Russell would say, spend a little time with an envisioning tool and see how I'm going to mount these up. So I'm going to find my envisioning tool and see how I'm going to mount these up. No clue, but I'll bring you back once I figure it out. Here's an interesting little something I want to play with. You can see how there's more gap in the middle than down on the ends, and that's because this has more bow to it than what the Comanche does. So I'm going to relieve that a little bit first. Made some dots here, 2, 3. I'm going to make 3 relief cuts on the back of that so I can take some of this out. I want to get this lined up a little bit, figure out how I'm going to do some of my mounting, but I want to get this to fit first as I work this out. Oh, the adventure never ends. Am I going to ruin my 50 bucks? Nothing a grinder and a welder won't fix. But so far, kind of digging the look. These might just work out. So here's part of my challenge. Here's one of my marks right here. And what I'm wanting to do is I want to make a relief cut across the back here so that I can open this up a little bit, right? I'm sure that makes sense to you. My challenge is, not only is this pretty good material, I'm not going to readily just bend it, right? But I also have this plate on the bottom that's welded to it. So what I'm going to do is I'll make my mark from here, up and over. And then what I want to do is I want to cut just the thickness of this plate right here. And probably not go any further than about right here into the main structure here so that I can open this up just a little bit. I'm going to need to do that in 3 different places. And when I'm done, I can weld everything back up for strength. Now what I'm trying to do here is, these are already a powder coated skid plate, factory skid plate for the, what's it called, the JK, the Gladiator. And what I don't want to do is spray paint this to patch it up. So I'm trying to do what I can with as low a heat as possible so that the outside surface here just looks like it belongs and doesn't look like it's been repainted. We'll see if I'm successful, but that's the goal. I don't know. Papa Smurf is not exactly a show truck, so we'll show you how we do it here at Party Shop Shenanigans. Wish me luck. Okay, so this was the first cut. This is all I opened it up. You can see not a whole lot of variation there on how much I opened this up. I've made another relief cut here. Okay, see, that's pretty tight. And another one right here. Hard to see if I look through the viewfinder instead of in person. So I've cut this back plate here. I've cut the main material. I'm going to see if I can straighten them out just a whisker now, not overdo it, and, well, make a bigger mess than I started with. But hey, that's part of the adventure, right? Well, this is how these are going to fit up. My Gladiator JT rock sliders. These are stock takeoffs that I picked up from a local shop on my 89 Comanche. All in all, I don't think they look too bad. Lines match up pretty nicely. Had to do a little bit of work to take some of the curve out of them. Matches up under the door real nice. I kind of like my length where it ends with the flare. And when I look down the body line here, I mean, obviously they're not made to stick out and protect the body too much, but for the kind of driving I do, if I happen to be in the woods and run over a branch, it's going to save my rockers. Yeah, all in all, I think I'm going to like that. I need to figure out what I'll do for mounts still, but that is in an upcoming episode. Hey, remember, if you enjoy what you see here at Party Shop Shenanigans, do me a favor, click like, click subscribe. I'm trying to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark before the end of March of 25. Help a brother out, would you? Go out and make somebody smile today. You both deserve it. Bob out.